Hey, welcome to Tumo Sees the World. I want to answer questions that I think are super incredible for travelers, right? Whether you're trying to get to know a traveler or you just want to know about your new friend while you're traveling. Let's jump right into it. I've got 150 questions. I might not answer all of them, so for me it's just going to be switching through the three lists that I have. What would you say to someone who has never been out of their hometown? What would I say to someone who's never been out of their hometown? Leave. It doesn't have to be out of the country. It doesn't have to be out of your state or district or wherever, but just get out, get out and live in a place where you know nobody, you have no roots, you have nothing is familiar to you. It will definitely help you grow. What or who do you miss the most when you're traveling? I miss my mom the most when I'm traveling. I miss the whole family. We've built this very supportive network of family friends, and it's always good to be around that energy. It reminds you to be grateful. Do you feel more comfortable sleeping in your own bed or in a hotel bed? I don't know. I've just never thought too much about that. My sense of ownership is kind of loose, so as long as I have a bed, I'm happy. As long as it's comfortable, I'm happy. How many different countries have you visited? So far, I've been to about 25 or 24 countries. Yeah, but somewhere around there. It's been a wild ride. It's been absolutely incredible. What do you always keep tucked away in your backpack? This is definitely one of those things, right? I always carry around Elmo with me because I got Elmo as a gift from a friend in France. I've been looking for like a prop for my Instagram photos. But this is not the original Elmo. I lost the other Elmo, now I got a new Elmo. The original Elmo spoke French, but this Elmo just laughs. Okay, Elmo's ticklish. How many languages can I speak? Okay, fluently I speak English and Setswana. A little bit of French, but very basic. And I haven't been using my French quite a lot because I've been meeting a lot of French people. Okay, and then Mandarin. So I learned Mandarin back in 2013, and I got a chance to use it when I visited China. But since 2014, when I came back, I've just never really used it. But I have had a lot of random moments when I meet people who are fluent in Mandarin, or I meet Chinese people traveling the world as well, and we have that little moment of, oh yeah, now we can kind of say a few things in Mandarin. So, 谢谢 to all the Mandarin speakers I've met. For a minute I was catching on to Swahili, but that was before I got caught up in COVID in Uganda. A little bit of Hindi still left over from the time in India. I do remember quite a lot of phrases from my time in Ethiopia. So yeah, that's kind of interesting. That's an interesting question. I love it. I love languages too. Do you prefer to travel by plane, car, or boat? Let's just say I prefer a car, right? If it was up to me, I would just travel everywhere by car and drive myself, but sometimes it's just cheaper to get a bus. And then some distances, like if I need to get somewhere fast, I will fly. Like Johannesburg, Addis Ababa, I will do Johannesburg, Addis Ababa. But if I have all the time in the world, like this is what I'm planning next, and yeah, I'd love to. Yeah, I think I love cars. I love the road. I love the road. Who's the most interesting person you've ever met on your travel? Who's the most interesting person I've ever met in my travels? Damn. Whew. This one's quite tough. I don't know. I'm not sure. I've met quite a lot of interesting people. I've met way too many interesting people too. But I would have to say Chris though. So Chris is a good friend of mine, and yeah, we met in Monaco. I was just there to meet his neighbor who sells souvenirs in Monaco on Le Roc, and then so I just conveniently met him because he sells burgers, and the best burgers in Monaco. So that was just like a chance meeting, and then turns out this guy has an absolutely incredible story about all the businesses that he's ran across the world, 4 continents. and now he's kind of settled in Monaco and he's just living his life in Monaco. So yeah, I have to say he's the most interesting person I've met because he lives life freely, you know. Who's my favorite travel buddy? So I think my favorite travel buddy has to be Isabel. We met in India, and I guess we got to travel together in India, and then she got a chance to visit in Botswana as well. We got to actually see a lot of the country, which was absolutely incredible for me because, again, I love to drive, especially off-road. So that was incredible for me to get that opportunity to travel with my best travel buddy. And yeah, what is the most beautiful beach you have ever set foot on? Okay, the best beach I've set foot on has to be the beach in Robberg in Plettenberg Bay, right? So Robberg has this nature reserve, and I mean it's just beautiful. It's absolutely incredible. I've seen many beautiful beaches, but this is the only beach, and I did say that if I were to ever get married, I would propose on that beach in Robberg. You know, it's really beautiful. Absolutely incredible place. And I mean, it would be a very good place to propose if I ever. What is the most enlightening thing your travels have taught you? Believe in yourself. I mean, I know it's just such a cliche thing, but the most important lesson that I've learned from traveling has always been that to believe in myself. And you know, like just being able to be in a place where you don't speak the language, you don't know anybody, you have no connections whatsoever to this place, and making friends, making business connections, and actually actually enjoying yourself. So for me, that's absolutely incredible because, hey, how else would I ever get such an adventure? What is the best souvenir you've ever purchased? Ooh. Yeah, I don't really buy a lot of souvenirs. No. I don't really buy a lot of things actually. Yeah, so my minimalist lifestyle essentially just means that I don't collect things, especially physical goods, because like they have to be stored somewhere. Like, the whole thing. And I can't travel with that many things. But I'd have to say the best gift I've ever received while I was traveling was a golden jacket when I was in China. I still have it stored away, perfectly preserved, because I got this from a friend of mine, Ricky. Where's my dream vacation spot? Yeah, no, I don't really do vacations. My whole life is a vacation. I'm just constantly traveling. I live my life on the road, except for the times where I'm not on the road and I'm just here. What is my dream vacation spot? A beach somewhere in the Caribbean or the Maldives. Just these two places. I mean, I just want to constantly be surrounded by blue waters and white sand, just sandy beaches, and also the vibe, right? Beach destinations are the best because everything happens slower, closer to the water. People are calmer, people are happier, people are smiling, people are in a good mood. So I am that type of person. I am that type of vibe myself. So I want to just be chilling. Pretty fast life, not for me. What's the first thing you do when you get home from traveling? What is the first thing that I do when I get home from traveling? I guess I just throw my bags on my bed. Like I just leave them there. I'm just happy to be like, whew, I'm home now. And then get into this long conversation about everything I've been doing and everything that I've been excited about. Just kind of catching up with my mom mostly, and most times my aunt as well. So yeah, I think that's the first thing that I do. And sometimes those conversations happen at a Nando's. I don't know why, but my mom and I just always end up at a Nando's when I arrive from traveling. What's the longest road trip I've ever taken? There's 4,500 kilometers of driving off-road. Okay, so I was traveling in Botswana. This is 2018, and I was traveling around the country with Sabrina, and it was absolutely incredible because like I'd always done the trips before, but this was the first time we kind of extended it, and we took the incredible route between Maung and Kasane through the Savuti. I mean, if you've driven off-road, this is the ultimate off-road driving experience. I mean, it's not the inclines, it's just the fact that the road is completely difficult to drive on. So if you enjoy driving off-road, it's gonna be incredible. That is the best road trip I've ever taken, and longest on top of that. What's the longest plane ride you've ever been on? The longest plane ride was Johannesburg to Hong Kong. Yeah, I was on my way to Hangzhou at the time. So Johannesburg to Hong Kong, that was the longest ever plane ride. Yeah, so yeah, that was quite an incredible. That was actually the first time I ever flew. So that was kind of, whew, just pick the longest route. And there was some turbulence that did scare the bejesus into me. But I love traveling. What's your favorite book to read during a long ride? I like to read something about travel. So I was just reading Solo Africa just before I started my trip to Addis Ababa, right? And one of the very, very incredible things with that is I was reading it as we were driving across the country with an Italian friend of mine. We're just driving across Botswana all the way up to Victoria Falls, and that's what we're doing essentially. We're just riding, and then whenever I got a chance, I'd just catch a page out of that book, because I was trying to hype myself up for the second leg of my Africa travel experience. What's the most entertaining story you have about getting lost? Okay, so I love this. I hope this doesn't require a part 2. But so what I ended up doing is this was my second weekend in India, right? And then we go to Gurugram. At the time it was called Gurugram, and there was this super nice location, Kingdom City or something, Kingdom of Gods or something like that, and there was a party there. And as an expat working in New Delhi, like, you just get access to these free parties everywhere you go. We leave the club and we're supposed to be going to another friend's house, and then we're riding in tuk-tuks, of course, because hey, this is India. And then 3 people per tuk-tuk, so my friend and the other friends get into the other tuk-tuk, and this was a friend from Botswana, by the way. And then he just told the other friends that I was with, his other friends, he said, oh, you know the place, you can show the guy, right? I'm like, sure. Like, I just met them, but like, they seem like decent people. Somewhere as we're driving, I don't know, they changed their mind. They were like, no, matter of fact, just drop us by the metro station, we just want to get home. And then immediately, I didn't have my phone, so I asked them to call the other friends so that they could direct the tuk-tuk driver so that I could get there. Mr. Tuk-tuk said he knew the place. He said he knew the place, and he didn't. He said he got the directions, but clearly he did not, because I never found the place. And I was literally knocking on every apartment that I could find at the number 13. And I remember this one moment where I got to this other block. I mean, the name didn't match or anything, but the tuk-tuk driver was just growing impatient, because now he wanted to pick up other passengers. And I was just like, yeah, but you are the one who got me lost. Anyway, so I get to this apartment, and as soon as I got to the apartment, I saw a bicycle outside, and I was like, no, this can't be our friends. We later on became very good friends with the hosts, but like, I just never got to the apartment that time. Another time maybe. And then this is me giving up, right? I'm giving up on finding this place, and I'm like, but I don't have my phone. There are no metros. There's no way I can't get an Uber in the middle of nowhere, right? Because this was like at the outskirts of Gurgaon now, like, and I was like, what am I gonna do? So tuk-tuk driver actually meets somebody, and that was it was the day of the marathon in New Delhi. So he sees this guy who's going for the marathon, and he just ditches me. He straight out ditches me. I think it's about 4 a.m. at this point. I've been driving around for like 2 hours or so, knocking on random doors and not finding this place that I'm supposed to go to. And then, yeah, so I end up finding these guys who they just made a fire close to this last apartment block that I was knocking on, and they couldn't speak a word of English, but I think they got me. They understood what I was saying. They could see, oh, this guy's lost. That next thing, this guy's offered me chai, and it was such an incredible thing, because like, my instincts before that moment would have been to be very wary of these people, but I just approached them, and they were sitting by the fire. They offered me chai. I sat there with them. up until the first metro station opened, so that I could just get a taxi, go to the metro station, and go home, because I was still quite inebriated. So that's me, right? I'm riding, sitting with these guys, just chilling, relaxing, and then I actually fell asleep while sitting with them. And I mean, I did have money on me, but I didn't have a phone, I didn't have anything valuable except for just the cash that I had. And the greatest thing for me is they woke me up in the morning. They're like, oh, I mean, they signaled that they were leaving, or at least that's what I thought. And then I was like, okay, taxi, where can I get taxi? And then they directed me in the way, and I walked in that direction. Not even 3 minutes into my walk, I see a taxi. Taxi takes me to the subway station. I learned a very, very good lesson to trust people and just believe that people will help you out. Because before that, I would have never even. And I'm not saying you should just go out and do that without, the foresight or to think about your safety. But most people are good people anywhere you go in the world, and most people anywhere in the world will help you, no matter the circumstance. Where's the most romantic place you've ever visited? Where's the most romantic place I've ever visited? I'd say there's two. Yeah, there's two. We're gonna go back to Robberg, Plettenberg Bay, right? So when you're atop this little peninsula and you're looking down at the beach and this little causeway in the middle, and there's like a small little hilly rock next to that. And like I said, the first thing when I saw that for me was that I thought, if I were ever to consider marriage, I would propose there. It's an absolutely beautiful place. It's absolutely breathtaking. And I think if you were to drastically change your life and your partner's life in that way, it would be beautiful to do it there. I'll explain it. So it's because of the little causeway in the middle. It disappears when the tide is high, right? And it appears most of the day it's there, it's proper, you can see everything, but then at night it just disappears. All of the things you've heard about Paris being a romantic city are true, right? From the Lock Bridge to just walking around and just discovering the city, right? Especially if you're in the main part of Paris, that is it's very curated, yeah, but like, I mean, absolutely romantic. So yeah, the Love Wall was particularly romantic for me because I just met somebody, and I guess we just went out on a tour together, and yeah, she turned out to be quite a cool person as well, and we hit it off. And the amazing thing for me was that as we were at the Love Wall, I'm looking through the different words that say love, right? And that mean love, rather. And I see it in Setswana. Ke a go rata. That was just like the most. I was like, yeah, ke a go rata. It's a really, really beautiful way to say I love you. I love you. Okay, those are the two places. I know it said one, but like I had to pick two because those are my two favorite romantic places in the whole world. What are your 3 traveling essentials? What are my 3 traveling essentials? Definitely my camera. I have to have my camera at all times. I usually take my hiking shoes. Those are non-negotiable. Even if I don't use them a lot, I always take them with me. And what's the third thing? I'll say my passport, but kind of like that's kind of implied in like just international travel. Unless we create a borderless world. But yeah, that's it. What's the third thing? Maybe my laptop. Yeah, my laptop, my camera, and my hiking shoes, because that's just me. Okay, I love this next question. I really love this next question. So it's like, what gives you a rush of adrenaline, right? What gives me a rush of adrenaline is the moment when the wheels of the plane just like leave the ground. That is the moment for me, right? That's the moment that really gets me every single time. I mean, it doesn't matter whether I'm flying small planes or big planes. The moment when the wheels get off you know in that little split second, like, you are flying, and I mean, it excites me beyond anything else. So yeah, wow, I miss that feeling.